Thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk. As always, I am Janae Hancock, and welcome to a new week. We are officially 1 week away from the big holiday, Christmas. And if you see this guy right beside me, we are preparing for a major holiday. Nick Shabiria with AAA. Nick, how's it going?
It's going great. Always good to be here, Janae.
Of course, I appreciate you taking the time. I know we are preparing for Christmas. We're also preparing for New Year's Eve, both major holidays to end the year. So looking back at last year around this time, a lot of people were dealing with major headaches, the nightmare before Christmas, we like to call it, unfortunately. So how can people prepare for the worst, but also hoping for the best this time around?
Well, when it comes to travel, we know that it's expected to be a busy period between Christmas and New Year's, with more than 115 million Americans driving, flying, taking cruises over that time frame. That's going to be an increase from last year. So as you mentioned, people can get ready for increased crowds, whether it's at the airports or whether they're driving. We know we saw some major airline cancellations and delays last winter. I think part of that was due to some of the weather, which it looks like it might be a little bit milder Christmas and New Year this year. But regardless, our number one tip for folks flying, make sure you're checking your airline's website, or even better, downloading their app. That's going to be the best way to receive updates about your specific flight, and could also help you, rebook maybe a little bit quicker if there are any delays or cancellations, and you're already at the airport. What you don't want to do is kind of go in blind, not knowing what your flight's doing, what's going on at the airport. Making sure you're checking that app or checking their website, that's going to help you. Also, know your rights as a passenger. The Department of Transportation really refined some airline passenger, list of rights really after the pandemic, and, kind of the confusion around that. So make sure you're looking at the Department of Transportation's website if you have any questions about what you're entitled to if there is a delay or cancellation.
115 Americans expected to travel this year. Now, seeing that Christmas and New Year's Eve, they both fall on Mondays this year, do we expect that to play a part in there being an increase in the number of travelers?
That certainly is a factor, where the holiday falls. Again, we have sort of that weekend right before both Christmas and New Year's where folks will be traveling. That may actually help spread out some of the travel congestion, right? Normally, when it's during the week, people have a set time off of work. They may not take extra time, but with that weekend, it gives folks a chance to travel either Friday, Saturday, or even Sunday before both Christmas and New Year's. And that may actually help with some of the congestion on the roads. AAA is forecasting that Thursday the 28th and Saturday the 30th to be some of the busiest and heaviest travel days over that period. No matter what day you're leaving, if you're driving, the earlier you can leave in the morning, the better. If you can avoid some of those major metro areas where we typically see congestion, whether that's right around, your home, or if you're going to be traveling through a metro area. If you avoid those in the early afternoon, early evening hours, if you can do it first thing in the morning, that's going to be your best bet at avoiding some of the heavier traffic.
And even those hitting to the skies this time around, you definitely want to make sure you get to the airport in enough time, as if you're going to be parking, or I know you can actually schedule your Uber or your Lyft these days now. Now, you talk about the traveling period. How long do we expect the traveling period to be this year?
Yeah, we measure the year-end holiday period is December 23rd to January 1st. And, that's a great point about getting to the airports as well. Although we're not expecting overall travel to quite be where we were at in 2019, we are expecting air travel specifically to be the busiest on record. We're expecting it to surpass the previous record set in 2019 of 7.3 million Americans flying. So the airports, this could be one of the biggest tests for them for the busiest period between Christmas and New Year's. Make sure you're arriving 2 hours before your flight is scheduled to depart, and you're absolutely right, reserving a ride to the airport, or you can even reserve parking spaces, at external parking lots from the airport for parking spot. For example, AAA members get a discount, but reserve those ahead of time to make sure that, you're not caught off guard the morning that you're going to be traveling, where you might not be able to find a parking spot. You might have a hard time getting a ride to the airport.
Some good advice there. Now, we talk about gas prices all the time, but for those who may want to buy a flight last minute, how are prices looking for those people traveling domestically, hoping to travel domestically?
The overall flights for the year-end holidays are down slightly from this time last year, which of course is good news. If you're still looking to book a last-minute flight, of course you're going to be paying more. But in general, flights on average for the year-end period down, on average about $100 or so from this time last year. Again, though, we know demand is very high. If you're still looking for a ticket, your options and times and of course seating may be very limited.
Alrighty, Nick, before I let you go, any final advice for our viewers here?
No, again, we talked about gas prices, drivers. It'll be, good news for drivers at the pump traveling for year-end holiday driving to their destinations. Folks in Missouri and Kansas both paying the lowest statewide averages or lowest average gas price that we've seen really all year. So gas prices have been trending down over the last couple months, and we don't expect any major increases before the year-end travel period. If you are leaving from Kansas or Missouri, depending what direction you're going, fill up before you leave home. Missouri and Kansas, some of the lowest gas prices in the country. You may save a few bucks filling up at home rather than on the road.
I think that is a great takeaway, a good note to end on. Even if you're not going to be going anywhere, maybe just staying at home and camping in, definitely want to take advantage of those gas prices. Nick, as always, thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk. And for all of our viewers who may be traveling this holiday season to end the year, make sure you travel safely. And you can also catch more tips on our website, kctv5.com, or you can head over to the AAA website. Thank you again, Nick.
Thanks. Hope everyone has a safe and pleasant holiday.
Perfect.